Good evening, everyone. I am wondering if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. For some reason, my screen like locks on a different person that they're, the green box, if you're familiar with Zoom. So I am Julia Carty. I'm so excited that you all came tonight to just hear how Rosalind and Lindsay and I have fallen in love with Plexus. I was trying to do a play on words, it being fall. I couldn't quite get it there, but maybe some of y'all make the connection. But I'm really just excited to hear their stories and to just share with you a few reasons why I love Plexus and I continue to love the business after 6 years. So I am going to go ahead and kick it off to Roz.
Hi there, y'all. How are you? I'm Rosalind Payne. I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. My journey started back in June of 2013. I actually stepped into Plexus just for the business. All of my friends around me at the time were doing Plexus, trying the product, so on and so forth. I was working full time. I was a advertising executive, a media director, and had been for 19 years. I had zero interest in changing careers or doing anything else. So as all my friends were jumping in and doing the biz and calling me and saying, Ross, you have to come do this with us. And I was like, absolutely not. Had zero desire. Network marketing was not something I ever wanted to step into. I had a lot of preconceived notions of what I thought network marketing was, and I just didn't want anything to do with that. And it wasn't until, I guess this went on for a few months, and all of my friends were signing up everybody I knew as customers or ambassadors. So I'm watching this train barrel by, and I'm starting to wonder, am I missing something, or are they all just crazy? And I came home from work one day, and my husband was like, why don't you try this? Why don't you? And I was like, oh, you too? Seriously? I mean, and he's like, but look, your friends are doing really well with it, and it looks like there's nothing bad coming out of this. And he's like, and what if this could help our son? I have a son, he's high functioning on the autism spectrum, and he was needing this brain mapping therapy that was going to cost me $1,000 out of pocket every month. And my insurance refused to pay for it. And he was going into middle school. And y'all know, for typical children, how hard middle school is. But for a little guy who struggles, y'all, it was breaking my heart, thinking, I can't send him into this big bad world. I can't send him out there without having, all the skills that he needs, and being, mentally set to go up against what he could go up against at middle school, whether it's bullies or stress or everything else. And I felt so helpless because I couldn't help him. My husband worked very hard. He was a software engineer. I was working 50, 60 hours a week. And I was like, how can this possibly work? But when my husband brought up my son, it's like there was this complete paradigm shift. I stopped in that moment thinking about what it would look like, or what I didn't like about all this, or all the things about me, and thought, what if this could help my son? What if this could help my family? I mean, I didn't even allow myself to think that until that moment. And so I said, okay, if this is for him, I'll do it, because you guys know was out there. If you put your child in front of knock down walls for that kid. And that's how I felt. And so I just kind of put on my blinders, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a couple $100 maybe, and I'm going to pray through. I have to pray through the rest, because I have no idea how this is going to work. And I just kind of took off, did all the things I was told to do. In my first full month with Plexus, I made $1,200. Y'all, I was floored. I couldn't believe I actually made the money to cover his therapy. But then there was this extra $200 that was like this whisper from the Lord saying, I'm laying this opportunity in your lap. This unexpected, unasked for new opportunity just landed there. And I thought, okay, if just dabbling and reaching out to a few friends, I was able to do that, what if I could actually be home? What if I didn't have to work anymore and I could be home with my kids? I never even allowed myself that prior, because I didn't think it was ever something I could ever do. I never dreamed bigger than my paycheck, because why? Because I'll never achieve that. And so I was just in this state, and it wasn't a depressed state, but it was just kind of what I thought my reality was at the time. But at that moment, I realized, oh my gosh, what if I could be home on a Tuesday and taking my kids to the pool, or I don't have to put them in a sitter all summer, or I don't have to sit in a boardroom all day long and think about what I wish I was doing with my kids. What if I could be home with them? So I decided, you know what, if I could make 1200 that fast, what could I do if I really put some business acumen behind this? What if I put my blinders on and I worked this like a business? And that's exactly what I did going forward. I was like, I'm going to do this. And y'all, I worked hard for 9 solid months, and I was able to leave my career, walk away from this career I'd spent my entire life building. And now I have this incredible, incredible new career, which accidentally just landed in my lap. And I'm not sitting here working on advertising to help get more people in the seats of a British Airways plane, or, I worked for Dr. Pepper, I worked for TGI Fridays, I worked for all types of companies doing their marketing and their media. And never once did I feel the way I feel as I do working this business. Because what I'm doing now is I'm changing lives. All I am is the conduit to getting these incredible products in people's hands. Products that you can't buy at a grocery store or at a CVS or anything. Products that have a guarantee, all the things wrapped around these products, is something I can get behind because I love them. They've changed my life, and this business has changed my entire family's life. I am over the moon. I have a paid off house. My kids got to go. I got to move both my kids to schools that they absolutely love. Was able to buy my parents a car. All these things that the financial blessings have allowed me are incredible. But the number one thing is I've been able to give back more than I ever imagined in my life. I used to be the recipient of scholarships. I used to be that person, and now I get to be the person that slips that quiet little envelope under the door to help somebody out, or to sponsor that child at camp, or to give back more to my church than I ever even imagined. The blessings that come out of this business are incredible, and they're real. And it's enough to allow me to walk away from this very successful career and into something where I spend my days doing a business from my cell phone or at lunch with my friends. How in the world did this happen? It's such a blessing. And it's been a blessing for me, and it can completely be a blessing for you. I'm going to pass this over to my dear friend, Lindsay Bryant, and have her share her precious story too. Lindsay?
Well, I'm going to follow up behind Roz. I'm like over here trying not to cry. It was crazy. I've heard your story, but I think I haven't heard it in so long that a lot of things that you said resonate with my story, and very similar things. I was like, oh, wait, that was me too. But anyway, Julia asked us to be on this call, and I was thinking back 5 years ago, which is insane. Y'all, and when I started 5 years ago, was not looking for network marketing, actually would probably repelled me a little bit, was not on Facebook, was not searching for this at all. But I was having my second child. I started when I had a 7, she's 7 now. I have 2 little girls. They're in Birmingham. I started Plexus when I had my second child. She was 4 weeks old. We were living in an apartment, a 30-day apartment. My husband was finishing up a residency program. And when I say there was no time in our lives, like no time. I mean, 4-week-old baby. What I haven't told y'all is to my other child, she has special needs. So between the two, like my time was zapped. So I remember when Rebecca, we were talking, I was like, I have no time to give you. Like, what do you want? I mean, like, so if you are sitting in that position, I hear you and I understand that. But while I had no time, we had no finances. Our finances were totally depleted. I had been a counselor for 8 years, licensed professional counselor, worked in a high school, absolutely loved my job. And when I had my first child, about 2 years prior to that, I had to quit my job. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, because I worked my tail off for the job. I loved it, but the Lord had different plans. And the only way for me to take care of my child was to be home. She had too many appointments, too many doctors, too many sick days to try to do anything even part-time. And I feel like I was just coming around to the fact that I was not in a situation where I was ever going to be able to work a typical job again, like an 8 to 5. My kid just needed me too much. I wasn't going to be able to go out of the home and make money. And so here, this opportunity that one of my friends who I trusted is talking about, and I'm like, okay, I trust her. I don't trust network marketing. I don't trust these products. I've never taken them. Why should I? But I trust her. So it's like Roz said, our family needed finances. I had one friend that I trusted, and then I looked and she was doing it with Joya and someone else and people that I found to have integrity. And I thought, okay, I trust these people. So I need to do it. Little thing, I don't even know if Julia knows, like I was going to sign up and then I tried to back out because my husband and I started talking about it. I'm like, this is crazy. It's network marketing. Nobody makes money. Like this is dumb. I need to go find something else. I literally go to sleep after my husband and I have a nice argument about it. And then the next morning I did not know, because I'm never super passionate about something and he says no to. He stayed up all night looking at the compensation plan. And when I woke up the next morning, he was like, okay, you'd be crazy not to get more information. And I was like, all right. So went to bed, the door was shut. I was like, fine, I won't do it. One of those good husband wife fights. Woke up the next morning. Of course, he stayed up doing the digging because he saw that it hurt my feelings when he tried to say, what are you thinking? And he did more research. He dug into the comp plan. He works in finances in a hospital. He's in hospital administration. And when he gave the green light to the comp plan, I was like, okay, let's do it. So I signed up. I was healthy. I ate right. I exercised, but I was still tired. So I thought, I love health and wellness. I'm going to sign up for that. And I did not realize the financial opportunity that would come. Like Ross said, when I started, I was like, I'm just going to go paycheck to paycheck. This month, I want to cover the bills. If y'all have anybody in your family who's ever been on a residency pay before, it's like, we were living off $20,000 a month. It was rough. I'm not scared to say that. We were spending more than we were bringing in, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel, because that's the route he chose to pursue before we had Bentley. So you get married, you have all these plans, you have all these things you're going to do, and you know how you're going to take care of it, and then God starts throwing in things, and your plans go to heck. Basically, I totally believe he opened this door up for me and my family, because it was nothing I would have ever chose. And I had a million reasons not to do it. And I still said yes. And I still just kept pushing forward each day. First month paid our bills. Second month went up several more hundred. And what I love the most, I think I was most scared when I started network marketing. What are they going to make me do? What are they going to tell me to do? All these things. And the beauty of Plexus, and I cannot speak for other companies because I don't think it's this way everywhere, but the beauty of Plexus, you can make your business whatever you wanted it. I was super guarded about sharing about my family at first. I was allowed to share whatever I wanted. And now I can look back and I actually find that it was a blessing, because I wasn't on Facebook. So I wasn't sharing Bentley's life. I wasn't sharing my child's life at all. And I have learned that I love to be her advocate, and I love to share about special needs now. And I believe that I would not have gotten to that point had I not signed up for Plexus and gotten online and gotten on social media. Because I had stigmas in my head about that too. So, so many hurdles, so many things I signed up to make money, but I've had so much growth in the process, and I can just see all the doors that the Lord has opened for us. And when we first had Bentley, we would go to appointment after appointment, which meant money after money. And there's so much stuff insurance does not cover for special needs families. And all I could see in my head was, okay, we're going to need a wheelchair, and we're going to need PT, OT, speech. I'm talking all of it. And now when I go in there and they look at me and they say, and they hesitate because they know how much it's going to cost, they being the therapist, and they say, well, she needs this. And I say, okay. And I can walk out and I can stress about her health, and I can stress about the next time we're going to be in the hospital, but I do not have to stress about being able to provide for her, to hear, to like roll into class, to do all these things. So that's the blessing that it has been for my family. And it's just one day at a time for the past 5 years. And it's just always gotten better and better, and enjoying the journey along the way for sure. Last thing I remember My very first, I started in July when I turned 35. I'm 40 now. And I remember my very first W-2 from Plexus. And we had been out of the hospital. We had a month-long stint in the ICU. And the bills were ridiculous when you do something like that. But my very first W-2 was like 7,000 something dollars. And that covered the, like, within $100. Julie, I don't know if you remember me texting you, but I was like, this is within $100 of my very first bill that I've gotten. And I'm just like, okay, here you go. Like, that's what the Lord provided. We were just in the hospital for a month. We had nothing in savings because, again, I had to quit my job and my husband was in a residency program. So it's fun looking back now and seeing all those things and those blessings that have come from an opportunity that I would have never marched towards if, like Roz said, I wasn't doing it for my kids. It allowed me, when you're trying to move mountains for your family and for your kids, and it's a need, it's amazing how you can let your pride and preconceived notions and all those things fall to the wayside, and then you become a part of something bigger, and a network company that, like we say, does things the right way. So if you're on this call and any of that resonates, I can promise with you that Plexus does it different, and we do things the way that it should be done. So anyway, that's pretty much my story. I mean, now I'm 5 years in, I'm a Diamond Ambassador. We've gone to Maui, several times for free. We have the Lexus, all those things, and they're fun as well. I won't say they're not fun perks of the job. We love that. And that trip to Maui was definitely a nice gift to give my husband as well after all his hard work too. So that's a piece of my story. I'm going to send it back to Julia.
Thank you, Lindsay. I don't know if I've heard you tell your story, and if y'all don't know, Lindsay and I went to college together. So, and I sit here and I love just thinking how, like, the Lord goes before us, because Roz, I was telling somebody, I think today, that Roz is probably my best Plexus friend that I didn't know before Plexus. Like, we met via Plexus. And just, if she had not given this a chance, she would not have shared it with Andrea. And her friend Andrea is who introduced Plexus to me when we were living in Texas, who I then returned. I brought it to Alabama, where Lindsay, and I just think how the Lord's hand's been in this business each of us have our own story. And I'm not going to go in great detail my story, because I kind of just want to I want to be a little different. Sorry if you hear someone yelling. He's the main part of my story because he's in there playing with his sister. But I joined very similar in the sense of I was never going to do network marketing. I had been invited to parties, asked to buy things. My husband had been in the ministry for 9 years, and we just always had we like to make rules for ourselves, and we're like, we'll never do that. But while living in Texas, he was doing a sales kind of delivery job. He got let go. And that just kind of made us hit kind of rock bottom. I had 4 young kids. I have a teaching degree, but I did not want to go back to the classroom. And like Lindsay said, women that I love and I trust in, who had integrity, were were posting about Plexus, sharing it. And so I finally decided, after 8 months of watching and hiding my friends, you know how you can hide them on social media, I decided to jump in. And honestly, I never imagined the business. I wanted to make $1,000 a month. That was my goal. And I will never forget, we moved back to Alabama about 2 weeks after I joined Plexus, and we had no idea how we were going to pay rent. We had dried out our savings. We had $36 to our name, and I opened my first paycheck, and it wasn't thousands of dollars. It wasn't even $1,000, to be honest, but it was to the penny enough to cover our first month's rent. And that was the moment that I knew that this opportunity was going to change everything for us. And that was about 6 years ago, last month. And so through that, my husband, I am a Diamond Ambassador also at the top of the company. He is not a salesman. I love him. He's actually writing a book. He decided to come home, and he's able to pursue his dreams. The little boy in there screaming. We have always had a heart for adoption, and we were able to adopt 2 years ago. He'll be 2 next month. I can't believe it. He'll be 2 years old next month. And we were able to adopt without raising a penny of support. Now, nothing wrong with raising support. I love supporting adoptions, but kind of like Lindsay says, there's so many stresses in life, but not to have to worry about the financial burden of adoption was such a blessing. And guys, we had kind of just in our mind thought, oh, why did God give us such a heart for adoption when we'll never be able to afford it? But this was his plan all along. And I always think, just because I said yes, just because Roz said yes to start sharing this with her friends, Reese's eternity has been changed. I truly believe that. So I want to do a little something. I want to give you just 10 reasons why Plexus is different. I know even just 6 years later, and this is not to down any company. I really don't pay attention. I buy lots of stuff from lots of friends who sell things. I love supporting my friends. But these are 10 things that I know that I love about Plexus. And Lindsay and Roz actually mentioned a few. And I think I'm noticing in the chat, there's several new ambassadors on here. So I think these are good things for you to tell your friends. Or maybe you're listening in and you haven't decided if Plexus is a good fit for you. But the first thing is number one, there's not a huge buy-in fee. It's $39.95 to join Plexus. Right now, it's only $9.95. So it's kind of like a Costco membership. That $39.95 gives you your website for a year. So there's no website fees every month. Because I do know that from chatting with some other friends that, I have to pay a website fee every month. We don't have to do that. And it's almost, when I say it's like a Costco membership, you get wholesale prices for an entire year for only $39.95. And like I said, $9.95 right now. Number two, there's no quotas or minimum purchases. So when I first joined, like I said, we were broke. So I could not commit to, if you join, you have to buy, $300 worth of products every month. No, with Plexus, now, of course, you have to spend, there is a, what we call commission qualified, $100 to make money. But if for some reason you don't sell something one month and you're like, I just don't have it in my budget, you don't have to spend a dime. You really don't. Number three, it is turnkey. And what that means is you can make real money right away. We do not get paid with free products. We get paid with cash. And you actually get paid 5 times a month. And if you start selling, say tonight, you're like, oh my goodness, I want to join. You could join tonight and get paid next Friday. So you can make that. And that was really important for me because I needed to make that welcome. We have a welcome back. I needed to make money right away to cover my first month's product. And right now, I'll tell you, we kind of have a buddy bonus. We have a bonus. If you add one friend, if you find somebody to be your accountability, your partner to join with you, you can make about $60 just with that one person right away. Number 4 is no parties required. I'm reading my writing. I'm laughing at it. We do not require parties. Okay, I think this is a little different, especially with COVID. Nobody's having parties. But like I said, I remember being invited awkwardly to people's houses and sitting on couches. We don't do that. You do not have to have parties. Now, sometimes we like to have informational meetings, kind of like this. We do a lot of things via Zoom, maybe Facebook parties, but they're not required. Like Lindsay said, you get to run this business like you want to, how you're comfortable doing. Number 5, there's no inventory. This is a huge one. How many of you have been at a friend's house and looked in their closets or their garage and you see stacks of inventory? I have never bought anything that my family hasn't used. I only buy products that my family use monthly. I don't keep product here and sell it out of my closet. In fact, I have people ask me almost every month, like, hey, do you have an extra bottle of this? Every once in a while, I might just have it because maybe the kids haven't taken, but I'm typically like, I don't keep inventory. So that's huge for me. Number 6, we have life-changing products. I think Rosalind spoke about this, but I still dress my babies in shrimp and grits. I love it. I love cute, smock clothing. I'm Southern. I love smell good candles. I love bags. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. I love active wear. Everybody. I wear leggings like every day, but our products change people's lives. they get off medications, their migraines go away, their stomach issues go away. And I'm always saying this. The reason I truly believe I think I'm successful is because I have helped so many people feel their best. And so I just think that's really special about Plexus, is that you're truly helping people live and feel their best. Number 7, comp plan. Well, Lindsay, I feel like Lindsay's husband kind of gave us, because I'm not a financial person, but our comp plan is like no other. We get paid 11 different ways. And just for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through those 11 different ways, but we do have a really great comp plan video. If you're interested, you can throw it in the chat and I can send it to you, or you can ask that person that invited you tonight. That was number 7. So number 8, free training. I never knew this was a thing, that some companies, you have to pay for training. Not only is our team very strong, that we have trainings weekly, multiple times weekly, but we also have our corporate has new ambassador training. There's always, almost like you could get overwhelmed with the amount of training on the products in the business, but it is available for you. Number 9, a unique community. This is another point I really love sharing with people. I feel like we're all on the same team. Like, we call it One Plexus, but I've had Plexus ambassadors who have not on my team, but we all want to help each other. And it's a part of the way our comp plan is set up. So we won't be against each other, because the better they do, the better I do. Just the way if you are familiar with our pay points, it's best to help each other out. And I tell everybody, my strong suit is the business, where I have a really good friend, her strong suit is the products. And so we just help each other out. So you really have a great support system. And then number 10 is personal growth. And for me, this is a hard one to even communicate to you. Just the personal growth that I've experienced in the past 6 years, of just being on a call and speaking to y'all. I don't think 6 years ago I could have done this. Also, just having a group of like-minded women coming alongside me. We're always doing book studies. We're always just learning how to be authentic on social media. I just feel like that, again, it's just that community of us pushing to be our best. And even just today, like I was on a phone call with one of my Plexus team members, like just crying over motherhood. I mean, I just think just that community of, okay, it's going to be okay. We're all in this together, and it just gives us that fellowship that I think so many of us desire. So I hope with this, one of those, I know that was 10. I went pretty fast. I wanted to be done by 9 o'clock. But those are just 10 quick reasons why I feel like we can all be confident in social selling, in Plexus, and we can all be confident in these products in this business that we are in. So if you have any questions, I would absolutely love for you to throw it in the messages. If not, you are free to go tonight. And I hope this was recorded. So if you're thinking of somebody you want to send this to, I will get it uploaded and you can shoot that over to them or share with your team. Good night, y'all. Oh, somebody asked me my point 7 and 8. Let me look. 7 was the comp plan. We get paid 11 different ways. And 8 was the free training. All right. Any other questions? Thank y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.